towards the back of the site. There's that first swing. Second shot coming through. Knocked on Tudy, and it worked!
Fake TP, e agora vem socão, ele vendeu, e que beleza dele!
Everyone, I'm here with Coach Kaplan of Sentinels. A pretty convincing map, I would say, in your favor. But I would agree too. You would say, you said before rather, that your Lotus is becoming readable. During map selection, you immediately picked Lotus. So is it safe to assume that you've cooked something up to bring that 12-3 in?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time watching back our own Lotus, talking about what we need to do differently, what we need to keep doing, but just do better. Little changes, big changes, how to hit the balance, and I think the whole team did a really good job participating in that. John really took the lead, especially, honestly, the whole map. Lotus has been his domain, so he really, shout-outs to him especially.
Well, best luck on map 2.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Why are you wearing sunglasses?
I mean, we talked about this, didn't we? We're like, hey, what do we do with the sunglasses? I don't know. Let's just pan away from Ender.
Yeah, you know, why not?
Saying anything.
Look, I was asked to put them on. They stay on. Don't ask about the glass. I'm very insecure about them. Don't ask about them.
Okay. Also, you notice he's tucked his shirt in. Yeah, that's right. Ready for that one. Yeah? His shirt's tucked in now.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
Talk about the game.
No, I just don't miss a beat. I mean, that was a pretty systematic deconstruction, I think, by Sentinels of MIBR. We talked about it a little bit in the halftime break, right? They want to, 3-1-1 in some sort of variation, but they get no penetration onto A at all. MIBR shut down. And then there's aggression here at Mound constantly from Sentinels. It just ruins MIBR.
Basically, no MIBR lurks ever worked, and especially like these contains over towards A. There were a couple of rounds where Mazine, like, he's going up to clear a haunt as he's swinging into the line and just instantly getting shot. That forward aggro into A main especially just shrunk the map completely because MIBR never were playing rounds where they had, like, control on multiple fronts of the map.
Yeah, I think the biggest change I noticed in this Lotus game versus previous Lotus games from Sentinels is the variety of ideas they had to control extremities. A lot of these walk pushes then timed late with a haunt going in was kind of different than what we've seen before. Buying the outlaw, investing in the operator a lot, that was also a bit of a change-up that I thought was really effective against MIBR, especially that outlaw purchase in the early rounds on defense. It was one of the big reasons they built momentum. So Sen, these changes definitely paying off, even if it is just minor tweaks.
Yeah, minor tweaks for sure, and they actually ended up getting so much aggression towards it that the rotations ended up playing perfectly in their favor. Even Zelsis playing on that side, he did not have to move, and as an anchor, he did an absolute phenomenal job. But yes, the rotations did not move at all. They felt like they had no need. They weren't pressured enough to move off of their sides, give up any sort of loopholes within that map. And so it ended up being like this solo aggression was winning them these lines, and the rest of the team was just set. Like, their defense was solid.
Yeah, their movement, especially around the C site. You know, we saw the early rounds, there was like that trap in front of Mound that Zelsis was a part of. But then, once the execs are coming through and he's re-swinging through Viper orbs around that waterfall area, that site dance they did was really well coordinated.
Yeah, the way he dances with John QT on that site is really sick.
The waltz.
Yeah, they just have great synergy together on how they're timing their mollies, switching up their positioning on the site. It's the reason they were punishing MIBR, even when they were facing kind of those big number hits, like 4 players coming for them.
Now, there's a small chance here for our coaches to maybe look inward a little bit, and I'm very curious to hear about what MIBR's coach has to say ahead of this map number 2 after a brutal opening.
Everyone here with Coach Bazooka of MIBR. Obviously, that map did not go in your favor, but it was not your map pick. They ended up going into today's game, so the MIBR had a mountain to climb, defeating Sentinels. What's going to happen next map? How is MIBR going to win the next map and bring it to a map 3?
Just doing ourselves. I think we practiced a lot during this week, and we are ready for that.
Well, best of luck.
And I caught up with Frod this morning briefly, just in passing, and he said we're looking inward a lot this week. Feel like that's maybe where a lot of our issues are sort of starting from. So I'm not surprised to get a pretty brief answer there from Bazooka. But we're headed to Bind here, right? A map which we've sort of seen Sentinels, they used to get that Yoru involved. They've moved away from that a little bit now, and they're undefeated on that map out of Madrid.
Yeah, and honestly, I think for MIBR, Bind is a map where their sort of desired playstyle works really well. I think this team works very well when they're separating in sort of like 2 little clumps, when they're, playing to get a little bit more forward space slowly, as opposed to just going for full execs, right? This is a map where you can play, both extremities of the map and teleport to rejoin later on.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they have some sort of plan kind of picked around this, especially because this is their map pick. Sentinels on every single section of their gameplay, it looked like they had some sort of plan, whether it's aggression, retakes, protocols, anything that they wanted to do, even trap plays towards that door area. They were so set. And so for MIBR, I feel like I really want to see some sort of plan going into it. And maybe, I hope so, on Vine, they have some sort of creative. Yeah, maybe they have an actual plan that they all seem to be cohesive on, because that is something that I miss.
I think the trouble is, though, that Sentinels have a ton of different ideas of how to play this map. This double initiator comp they've been playing with the Gecko and the Sky in the mix gives them a ton of options, especially on their defensive side, for different areas when they're re-clearing, when they're going aggressive. I think the biggest issue is those re-clears. They're really going to be trying to kind of fight back into showers, fight back into long in these late rounds, and set up for these flood retakes that are really tough to deal with when that flash combo is coming at you.
And this is, again, where MIBR, the work they did this week, it has to be in the fundamentals, right? Especially, like, you know Sentinels are going to be setting up to fight through your smokes, to fight into you very aggressively. This is where MIBR have to show some kind of resistance.
I want more aggression from them on their attacking side. In these post points, I think they need to be proactive. If you're allowing Sentinels to go for set retakes with this same comp, which they are going back into, I think it can be pretty problematic for you. You're just going to get ran over on that side.
Yeah, aggression, and I think the most important part for me is confidence. Like, I feel like I want to see MIBR really pull into their own and push their form onto Sentinels instead of just being scared of these 1v1s that they might be kind of missing out on.
I want the confidence, but I also want awareness around spacing, right? Like, confidence and spacing, like, we got to mesh those together.
We don't know what round you're talking about.
Yeah, if we're going to have confidence, if we're going to fight forward for MIBR, I think they've made a good change for it. They've moved away from the Cypher. They've switched over to this double initiator. You have a lot more info, not just relying on those sky flashes, but having a lot of cross-map knives that can be really disruptive. I think this is a solid change for MIBR.
Yeah, moving away from the Gecko are MIBR. Let's find out if we can have a bit of a game here. Let's see if we can make it a map 3, ideally, and send it back to your casters. Glenn,
me too,
and Sideshow.
Yep, well, here we go. I mean, get into it. Fine is the map of choice. Already changes being made by MIBR with the compositions. I mean, listen, we can yap all you want about the compositions, and you will. Well, I know this guy will. That's what we pay him for. But yeah, I mean, double flashes for MIBR. Definitely can get proactive with it. Maybe he's talking about the mid-round information you can gather and gain from it.
Yeah.
But still, it's going to take more than just some creative ideas, I think, to get it over the line against a team like Sentinels when they're in this kind of form.
Yeah, and that's part of the issue. Your ideas have to be really good, and they have to be well executed, I think, to bridge what is clearly quite a big tier gap, actually, between where Sen and MIBR currently are at. So, taking a look at the pistol round buy, I do find it interesting that they've gone for Mazine going for full utility, and they're going to go for an early peek out onto Sand with one of his flashes. Nothing spotted. You see RGL bought the Ghost and 2 smokes here, not going for the molly, looking to try to play a slightly more aggressive variation of this B defense.
Got the info that they were wanting and hunting for here, the knife, smoke. It's all being used to dissuade and push back. Any sort of approach here, underhanded flash as well, seeking to refight, but it's just stray shots at least onto Zelsis. He was separated from all of that prior util.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a comms issue there. Zelsis thinking that they were going to commit to the site here. The rest of the team calling the cancel.
Hello. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Artsin! Time to fry. Time to farm as well with a spike drop down into his lap.
That is an amazing double kill there with the Ghost. Zekken almost walks backwards into JCZ, just dodges it. But this spike is down in an almost unretrievable spot. It should be MIBR getting off to a great beginning here.
Toxins going up.
Almost unfathomable that John and Zekken could recover this situation. Especially with such little time remaining, too.
Yeah, 30 seconds. I mean, he's poking around, seeing where this player is. The Artisan was he's in forward position. He is. He's hidden in the TP. So, okay, Boombot opens the door. Wait, did it timing it? Oh, there we go. Revealed. Well, off that Q, Artisan seeking to really do some damage and more. But a nail into the round. 10 into the board. That's a pistol round for MIBR. It's a good start for them.
Yeah, and MIBR with some good ideas there. Utilizing that KO and the double flash comp, they go for an early peek Sand. All right, that doesn't get anything. But then they grab info with the flash from the sky over towards B long and then use double flashes again. Flash out through Hookah, and then a KO pop flash around Tube puts a huge amount of pressure onto Zelsis. He can't dodge them both. So this is what Sen are going to have to deal with. Their composition, of course, can combo the flash dizzies. But I think MIBR are going to be looking to go even more aggressive than Sen.
Double face for now. At least we'll push them back. FRZ. A bit of information here, but they have lost control of showers.
I mean, for a moment, it looked like we were going to see some kind of showers crunch there based on JCZ's position. But instead, just taking that information around the map. Neither of these teams playing with Sentinels, so flanks pushing out on defense is good.
Well, Dog as well, seeking to really just pop in and clear this one. Hello.
Don't let it
Light delivery, little bro. He's getting away with it. But a flash maybe will contain it. That is just anarchy in the mix. MIBR, it's a 2v3. They got the planet in the midst of that. You are joking. You can't let it topple like this. Please, MIBR.
They just couldn't get any momentum going on map one. It would be cruel to rip it away so early. But Sen are not in the mood to make friends.
No, not at all, man. That's a win. On the eco. And it was just too much to deal with.
Do you think sometimes Wingman is like, mate, why have you brought me into this? You throw him out of his ball, and he's like, really? You expect me to get the plant down in this?
You don't have sight control.
Dodging
back
bullets.
sight control. Look, trying to take the fight forward, but it distracted as well. I mean, trying to spray down Wingman and prevent the plant. The flashes in their faces.
The rest of Sen all pushing forwards. If you expend too many bullets on little bro who's planting, the rest of Sen are going to get you.
That's incredible.
What a round. I mean, that's a funny one to kick us off to a 1-1 beginning. Sen looking to try to abuse this brim smoke at the bottom of long. Sometimes you can get good angles over the top of this. It's well placed, but Celsius is jump spotting over the top, seeing if anyone's greeding the orb, and then they can try to go for some spray through it. Sen are expecting aggression from MIBR on the other side, maybe anticipating a bit of frustration creeping into the Brazilian squad. Must just be devastating when you win a pistol like that so easily, with all of your ideas working so well, and then you fumble the follow-up. And now Ten's one away from his ult.
As you say, looking uncertain with the positioning because he wants to hold, but you're right. I mean, farming up the plants, the ult orbs, or prior, Ten's one away from the thrash.
And it's not like it's probably going to be that important this round, but with a kill, with a plant, with a death, Ten's is going to have a massive ultimate for the next round. Can anybody from MIBR play disruption to this? Dog clears the path, smokes down. Ooh, flash over the top as well, just giving them an idea of where RGL is playing.
Disrespectful by Zekin. I mean, he's overstaying his welcome there. Spotted out.
Gets punished, and here comes the flank from FRZ as well.
Might make a difference, but he does miss the shot. Okay, ults have to be expended now. Ten's using that thrash. Will he get some sort of connection? Detainment into the corner. No, it missed. It missed entirely. So the weapons are still online for these teams, but it comes down to whether or not you can get these kills. And Ten's, it is his job to seek to contain. Addison forwards now close into the angle, but not watching for showers at all. And eventually the players come together here. Sentinels doing the most to try and put a stop to that one, as dangerous as it might have seemed at times.
Honestly, from MIBR's perspective, there is a silver lining there. And it's that you actually forced the thrash out. You did enough pressure. Partly due to this kill, partly due to the flank from FRZ that was coming down short. To the point where Tennis felt like he had to invest the thrash. Just to avoid the Thrifty finding a win. So you've made this round way more winnable for yourselves. Hard to feel good about it, though.
Still, we'll see how it ends up going. Option a snake bite. All collected together now. Zekin is going to move on. An injection of pace. Exactly what Sentinels ordered. The backside players might be struggling to really find some gaps to try and play off of. It's another handed nade, but it's a little bit too short of the mark. Shy of the mark, so plan will go off. Into the post plan we go. The positioning is good by Sentinels.
The dog there from JCC gets broken, and that stops him from going for some kind of showers crunch. He's moved way far away from it as MIBR tries to take space. Oh, brutal.
Wingman, at least the Dizzy pointing forwards here with the rifles, trying to take the fight up close. And personal here. Second wave of all of that util. Great movement by John QT, just sidestepping all of the damage and the threats navigated. Excellent stuff here by Sentinels.
And a very simple round two. They're doing the same kind of stuff. Wingman plants towards default. They path through, smokes, clear out front sight. They're not really aiming to fight for backside too heavily. There are additional layers to what Sentinels are currently doing. You can use that flash dizzy combo to then push backside and try to catch MIBR as they're going for the retake. But at the moment, they're just sticking to the basic execs and still coming out on top.
Yeah.
MIBR, I'd love to see some disruption in this round, potentially. Some kind of crunch here on Sand. And that's if Sen decide to go in that direction.
Toxin screen down.
Anytime you have short control, Sand crunches are a possibility.
So they're not sending any players towards that direction. Oh my god, what a perfect flash. FRZ, it wasn't no man's land.
Just out in the open.
Fully out in the open, out of movement. Bit of whiffage there from Zekken. It's all good. Another wingman plant and a pop flash play. JCC won't get away with much more than that still. One kill.
Back to me.
But still that player disadvantage. And they're playing full retake onto the B side.
Just want to point out good awareness here from John Cutie as well, who was watching the flank. MIBR have been going for a lot of flank retakes. And Sen just making sure that they're aware of that, even though it's not happening in this round.
Interestingly enough as well, holding very deep up onto Tube. Always potential as well for those guns that MIBR were holding to do some real damage, but it's all Sen again. Cleaning it up, offered into these post plants time and time again. I mean, there's no obstacle you can throw up if you're MIBR, it feels like, that Sen aren't able to navigate.
However, we haven't seen too many rifle rounds for MIBR, so don't write them up too quick here. They're just about to get some big ults online. The Showstopper, the Orbital Strike, both fantastic for MIBR to be able to deny plants or to stop sight hits from coming through. So yes, you're right. So far, we haven't actually seen any resistance from MIBR in terms of their ability to anchor or stop the floods through. But this could change things. The fact that MIBR now have rifles and ultimates to work with could be, and actually has to be, a difference maker, because listen, you're taking a timeout after 5 rounds. Things are looking very similar to Lotus. If you allow it to snowball out of control like Lotus did, I mean, you are not looking in a great spot. Listen, maybe MIBR did all of their prep this week for NRG.
Maybe, it's a possibility. Match they got coming up. Yeah, just huff on it, man. Just huff on it. It's either way you slice it, I mean, it is a pick your poison situation with Sentinels or NRG left to prep for. For MIBR, you're taking this time out to make a call here. So far, Sen are really just being afforded showers control, belong control, once they wait out the initial util far too easily.
Yeah.
It's getting Sentinels into that post plant almost immediately.
I also don't really like the idea of taking timeouts right before big ult rounds. I think it gives too much time for your opponents to think of a way to throw you off. So I'm expecting Sen here to come out with something slightly different, or at least, I mean, look at the positioning, anticipating early, showstopper play.
Yeah. Even picking out onto the map.
Yeah, they know that this could be a possibility. They're set up for it. You've given them a lot of time to think about that kind of stuff. Great snipe back there. We've seen that lineup thrown many, many times. John from Market allows the rest of his team to take some B-long control. And now that they know there was no short aggression at the start of the round, at least not an explosive short take, they can start to work back through the center of the map here. They're not as worried about, for example, that sand crunch.
Yeah. Knife tags too. Addison is in a close position. He's tucked and, well, hearing that sound. No way! Satchel over the top! Second takes him out!
Was he in midair when those bullets were coming out?
I believe so. I mean, we'll see it on the replay.
I don't know whether I want to see it on the replay, Brent.
Absolutely disgusting stuff.
Well,
JCC.
Here comes Zekens as well.
Got to be the stalwart defender of this one. Rocket. No kills found. That was just from the spray of JCC, seeking to make something of the moment, but still, it's got to be another save round. I mean, everything was pushed into this round. Got to back away with the rifles.
What's catastrophic about that from MIBR as well is that they just suppressed Zekken around that area.
Yep.
They knew that he was there, and they also knew that Zekken was just about to have his abilities back online. But the timing that they're taking is after the Dizzy goes down. So Tens throws the Dizzy, and then Artazine is hiding inside the smoke, and once he anticipates someone taking hookah control, he pops out. But that's after the suppressor's already worn off, and then Zekken has his utility back online. And you're tackling one of the best Raze players in the world and asking them not to dodge your ult.
His guns need to be saved here. FRC.
This, by the way, is where we find out whether the replay team has any empathy. Because, Lord, don't show me it.
I want to see it. No. He was in air. He was in mid-air, man. Look at this. Satchel. Avoid it. No! It's filthy. It's filthy, man.
Can we get some developers on that? Oh, what's happening? It's like, it's just brutal, man. MIBR don't need those kind of situations to go the other way.
No. Excellent movement from second, though, just to avoid all of that one. And this is a desperation, proactivity on display. Guess what? Protocols in place and ready for it. That's what Sentinels are. Nades, rebounding. If the rifle didn't do it, Util certainly would have.
There could not be a team more prepared for short aggression in the last couple of rounds than Sen. That's the defensive default protocol you're looking for. The flank's coming through fast here, though, from MIBR, actually.
Watched by Zelsis. Tucked close onto the corner. It's a bit of sound bait. Picking up the orbs. Yeah, Zelsis, there's one.
Now it's ready.
Expects a second and will get it. Players dropping all over the place here for MIBR.
It's not getting any prettier.
No, it's not.
But for Sen, you could not get a more resounding bounce back from their loss against Leviathan.
Yeah.
Both of these teams lost to the LATAM squads last week. But those LATAM squads are not exactly the same.
No.
So...
very different.
Yeah.
It's ready.
This is a Sentinels with that fire beneath them again. No loose ends in any of these rounds. It is just pure, overwhelming aggression. And the protocols are so good on top of it. They're ready for it.
Could we see a showers crunch happening here?
So his chances doubled up, though. It looks like there's that hesitation. Lack of confidence to see if they can take that fight. I mean, second. Yeah, they're clearing it through with a boombot.
There also wasn't another player with JZZ.
Wait, are they trying to go for this? They're facing. This time they're making a call. They want to go for this one with the Trailblazer right behind it. And there it is. Okay. Two more kills going their way. Orbital strikes on orbital strikes. Tens. It's in the middle of all of this one, and he is fried to a crisp. 6-1, but MIBR looking to put that second one on board. John QT just spotting, shoulder poking out, receives the one, but he's got more targets where that came from. MIBR shouldn't let that one slip, and they're not going to. So 6-2.
A reminder that one of the big rounds that they won on Lotus was by utilizing, I think it was round 12, by utilizing their ultimates really effectively.
Yeah.
And this is another example where MIBR, once they have ults online, they actually did a decent job of this. They found that timing to be able to refight over showers, got the punish there, took the abilities away from their opponent with the null command, pressured them with the orbital strike when they went for the plant. You know, the idea was there, and they executed it, and they found that confidence. The thing that Myrna was talking about on the desk, but the problem is it's happening like 1 out of 12 rounds. We need to see that from MIBR more often. They are capable of it.
But crucially, 7-1 avoided.
That's important.
That's important in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, how have you managed to slip that in when it's a 6-2? It's just
avoided.
Dreadful.
We are going to keep this one going, though. Got the rifles in their hands now.
Bomb buddy out.
Standard take here from Sentinels, just with the boom bot, but the snake bite does well to push them back and away with the mollies. Oh, Zeka does not care about it, man. Satchel straight over. Full disrespect here from the Util. JZZ, far too much to deal with. Pop flash on Mazine. It wasn't quite set up for it, but he can't reset the aim. But a second follow through is perfection from Sentinels.
That's an immaculate take as well. There's actually a brimstone molly from Zelsis that lands in elbow to keep JZZ trapped on site so he can't fall back there. So many layers to put pressure on somebody who's going to be playing around Garden and somebody playing around Hookah. So well played by Sen. A couple of teams are going to be stealing that.
Oh, yeah. So well timed with it, revealing everything. Well, the pit will drop.
That's big.
And Argel backs away here. Maybe some time. Space being purchased here from Artisan, but now reveals his position out open. Now 1v1, but time starting to tick. And that forces the issue.
Unfortunate again for MIBR, they get into a decent position, but that on-the-fly thinking from Sen just a little bit too good. Smoke from Zelsis allows them a bit of spare space, and he doesn't smoke Garden, he smokes on-site, gives them a spot to play around. Cool idea from Zelsis as the pit drops. Look at this, though. The flash catches onto the hookah player. At the same time, look at this. That molly in the corner. What can JCC do about that? He's stuck. He's flashed. He's flashed again by his own team. He gets one. Good work getting one in that spot. Beautiful stuff from Sen. They've put some serious time into this version of their bind comp.
And it's too many just little things added into these executes, into the takes to deal with for MIBR. You can't really prep for this. I mean, you saw it there in the wide shot. You know, when JZA just couldn't withstand, his ground. He couldn't retreat into Elbow because of the molly. The supportive util of Mazine, he was throwing these long-range flashes in just to try and help out these players. Yeah. But it's still not enough. The timing is just ever so slightly off onto it.
And also, Mazine's throwing the flash there, assuming that JCC is going to be able to play inside of smoke at Elbow, whereas he can't. And what I'd like to see, though, from MIBR a little more is, if you're getting isolated and picked off one by one, let's try to either add something aggressive in, so you re-clear B long, for example, with some of your utility, and try to find that mid-round timing to do a play like that, or you try to double up a little more. Don't just play one hookah, one long. Try to double up into hookah and really dominate that space, or double long and fight for it, instead of going for the re-clear. There are different ways of approaching this. Their default defensive setups, though, are getting picked to pieces.
Viper's Pit might hopefully offer them new lease of life here. Locks down the A short angle, and they are playing heavy towards B long as well, but they've given up showers as a result.
I actually think this could be, or could have been, another round where they could go for that showers crunch. You've got Artesine in a spot where he could go forwards, and they did have RGL and JCC with Seekers that could have popped through the TP, but they've decided not to go for that. Here, a long-range KO knife clears out clears out A, so they know there's nobody showers anymore. This is going to keep that three-player stack towards B, so MIBR got a good idea with their macro of where this is going to end. It's not the macro that's really been the difference maker, though.
This is a... Oh, they want to refight this. Call's being made. It's a dry swing. No, not quite. There's a left-hook flash from Mazine, and it supports it up elegantly. Precision will lock that round away, and we just discussed it, Josh. We talked about it. That refight, you've got the double flash comp. It's the bread and butter. It's what the comp is good at.
Yeah.
And they put it on display.
I think that's a great call there by Bazooka to add in a different way of approaching B. Don't allow Sen to get into their exec space. Instead, fight them for it. And yeah, it was that re-clear. It wasn't actually perfectly executed, but listen, we won't talk about that. We'll take it. They peaked a bit before the KO flash came through, but it still blinded up all of the Sen players. And it got them the win.
10 seconds left.
And that's what MIBR were going for. Good read on the fact that it was going to end B. KO knife over towards Showers to confirm that fact. Kept the three players stacked. Nicely done. Yeah. The rounds that MIBR are getting on the board, they're playing well. It's just about getting more of them and not having to take 3 or 4 lost rounds to come up with one good one. There is a chance, though, that you can keep this at a competitive half if MIBR win the next 2.
Well, certainly. 7-5, and yeah, beautiful work there. Free camera shot, just catching that flash. And yes, the swing was a little bit too early, but still,
the idea was good.
The idea was good.
And the execution was good enough as well. 12 assists for Mazine, definitely playing that supportive KO, as you can see with his setup there.
Yeah. New beginnings into the round here for Sentinels, but pretty standard stuff, to be honest. I mean, they've been 2nd and 10s just holding this ground.
They're actually going back to their old B setup here.
Yeah. Thrash this time to cleave its way all the way through detainment. There it is, sitting duck, FRZ. There's no help, no respite, and that's because of that molly again, you see it. No chance of a pop flash player, anybody else that can support them through here. Zelsis now with a plant, and Zekken, extra weapon in his arsenal. That showstopper. Sitting ready and pretty, ready to be popped off at the first signs of life of MIBR. Trailblazer to be met here with the Thrash, leading the charge right into Elbow. Detainment there, showstopper on top of it. It's all combined it. It's overwhelming at its core. You don't stand a chance.
So coming off the back of MIBR with an excellent re-clear of B-Long, we then go into the normal setup again. Yeah. And Sen are just given too much space. They get a great combo off where they're able to get value out of Ten's ultimate. And it's game over. Once you allow Sen to get into these exits and the post plans, MIBR's retakes have not really stood a chance. They're just barreling over Mazine in heaven. the economy's not too bad here for MIBR. They're still going to be able to get some guns online. But unfortunately, after winning the pistol, only 2 others have gone the way of the Brazilians.
My ult's ready.
That brim molly over towards elbow is cooking MIBR.
It's making all the difference. Normally, your Sky play, if you're trying to defend that position, they play inside the smoke, they play anti-flash, they flash themselves out to support and relieve that pressure from the anchoring player.
Same B setup again.
Yeah, no changes.
I mean, maybe Sen are going to mix it up at this point because they've been focused on B quite a bit. Tens even picking up the AWP.
Yeah, final round of the first half, so you've got the extra pocket change to work with. Might as well make the purchase. He's probably got a rifle sitting somewhere nearby. MIBR doubled up into the smoke here. Surely you don't just contact your way through this one. It's being watched for, but sleep at a wheel ever so slightly there. Sassy not expecting it.
Yeah, and it's also difficult to place your crosshair well when there's a smoke there. Yeah. They can come out of it a few unusual positions. Orbital strike for RGL.
Okay.
I don't think they were expecting an op.
No. Posted up onto the position here, but the smoke up in their faces.
Right there.
It feels like a lot of these defense setups are based on where the KO is playing. They don't have as much proactivity on the other side of the map. RGL can't even find a timing to use the ult.
Doesn't find a time for the kill, but his back's going to be open wide and open. Okay, eventually kill claim there for Zelsis.
And that's ult online. Post-plant molly. Zelsis is going to be able to delay this defuse for so long. MIBR need to get a move on here.
Tempo needs to be increased. First wave of that util, you can see it. Line up Larry. On for it now with the molly, dropping it down. That just buy them even more time. Bodies out in the open. Desperation. And a 9-3 half. Sen are going to be really pouring themselves towards here, but it wasn't really arduous, was it? I mean, looking quite clean all the way through.
Some great setups from Sen, but MIBR, I think, just not adapting well enough. They knew what the problem was, but they couldn't figure out enough solutions to it.
Absolutely well. That's the first half all wrapped up. We're gonna send it down to Elizabeth, who's down in the crowd.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, here at the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, we're all about competition of all kinds. And I'm here with Sam, an MIBR fan, and Jen, a Sentinels fan. And we're going to do a little game. As you can see, they have these small objects in their hand, and we have some nets ready to go, and they're going to compete and try to throw it into the other person's net. The catch is, it is on their head. We are all about competition, and I'm all about starting my casting career. So buckle up, because I'm from Jersey and I do not hold back my opinions. Yeah, New Jersey, baby! All right, are we ready? Oh, okay, yes, it's Couture, we love it. How are we feeling? Oh no, not Couture yet. Okay, warm up. How are you feeling right now, Sam?
I don't know, I got these balls. Oh, I got these,
That's what they are.
Yeah, I got these balls in my hand, so let's see how it goes.
Yep. All right, and are you nervous?
This basket's not working out for me. I don't know what's happening.
All right, well, we have to get it started. Everyone, start your engines. That's the wrong sport. All right, and 3, 2, 1. All right, everyone get hype. I want to see everyone get hype. It's fine. I got it. I am the basket. There is nothing here. Oh, yes. Oh, wait. I'm gonna cheat. Never mind. I can't cheat. Okay, this is, Kaylin Clark would be so hey, we got one. There we go. Okay, yes, okay. Are we out of? No, come on. Okay, yes, come on, you can do it. Okay, hold on. This is your last one, is it? Isn't it? 2 more. All right, last 2. Who is the shot for?
It's for my boyfriend. He's sitting up there.
Go. I love you, Dad! Competitive integrity. All right, go for it. All right, no, you gotta go. We got it. Last one. Go. Oh! All right, well, we have a map to get back to. Thank you. Can we give it up for Sam and Jen one more time? That was so much fun. Now we have an actual game to get back to, so casters, please take it away.
That is excellent. I mean, honestly, we'll give it a run for the money, I think, with these kind of hits happening in the arena.
I mean, if Sen end up winning this game fairly quickly, we're going to have to make sure they don't trip over just bottom of the stage. All right, let's see whether MIBR have what it takes, though, to make this a bit more of a game. Sentinels stacking 4 players over towards B, going for the gamble on their pistol round defense. MIBR have got to figure out that it's happening. They've only got 2 flashes to work with out of a possible 4. Bit of an unusual setup for their pistol round buy.
Yeah, just all ghosts online. Tripled up now, out towards B long.
And at the minute mark, getting fairly decent information that it's not going to be a mid-round take of B long. So this is where you start to see TenZ moving his way over. Oh, coming back now, actually, towards B. This is probably because Zekken isn't really seeing anything in this sight line that we're now watching on short. But this is incorrect information. I mean, it's correct from Zekken's point of view, but the rest of MIBR not giving things away.
Here we go, sending it flying here with a util. Now, Zekken just pinging the appropriate angle, and that's going to be a rebound nade. That's going to delay the default plant spot, so he sends that one flying along with a snake bite. Cross map, I believe, off the comms.
Nice lineup.
30 seconds left.
And it has bought time for Sentinels, so they are getting themselves now into the side, but I don't have to really dissuade it. But finally, plant on, line forwards. Space taken, scaling now, and a flank here of Zelsis. Right behind them! Can't win out the fight. Mazine just tucks it there. Shoulder peeking out, but now a clearance now into Lamps. No connection, not from the flash! RGL! Beautiful shot to the Ghost. Ringing true. Defuse, half from Wingman. Hello, anybody? Is he going to stop this? They do, eventually. Putting a stop to it, but has time been porched on QT. Put to bed here. So, another pistol round for MIBR. Been saying that one quite a bit.
Yeah, the problem is they got the pistol round over towards the beginning of Bind, and they couldn't get the conversion afterwards. It was a heartbreaker for them. So they've got to be able to convert here. RGL hit some great shots on the players trying to come in. What is that? Okay. Great stuff. Reminiscent of what Artazine did actually on Lotus. But it wasn't enough there. And MIBR have got to make sure that it is enough here.
Got to keep it clean.
5-player stack on B. Now, MIBR, they're not going to walk into this.
Wow. Flash. Spotting out the 1 player, seems to get some spam damage there. Now, TenZ has only got the wall to really evacuate here. Look at this guy. I mean, he's a thief in the night. He's getting away with everything. Vacuuming up all the orbs. MIBR got any desire or chance. See if you can build up to some of those critical ultimates on your attack side. You're going to be denied that.
One of the problems as well is, Brent, with TenZ going through the teleport like this, it actually makes it feel like there's less players on B. And so I was worried for a moment that MIBR were going to reactively hit B thinking it was weaker.
He spotted 2.
That's part of Sen's eco strat. Yeah, that spot is going to start the acceleration on A. RGL with the plant, looking to try to build up to orbital strike here. Not going to have it for this round, though.
Snake bite dropped to the feet there, and the right click will do it. There was a Dizzy, though, following up, and they are trying to flood themselves into the back. The Cyber Sentinels surely they'll win this one. Been softened up entirely. Plenty of bullets being sent flying into the few bodies that are left standing here from Sentinels, and it should be a clean one. All the more likely here for MIBR. Okay!
Love to see it. So now Artazine and RGL are getting close to big ultimates. This is going to be the first time in the entire match that MIBR actually start to build up some economy, some ultimates, and can try to get momentum going.
Foundations have been set.
Literally every other time, we've just seen it crushed before it could begin. A nice idea on this bonus could give them a great opportunity to come back.
Trailblazer sent forwards here, but a snake bite actually, damage actually clipped through the wall there and pulled him out of the animation of just the dog to clear the way. So, from QT, dissuading that take, pushing them all the way back from Hookah, but MIBR going to be setting their sights now onto B long.
Sassy flashed through the teleporter early to allow TenZ and Zekken to set up for Showers control. They got hit by the 0 point, pushed back, and now MIBR have long. Sassy goes for a re-exploration and hits that. Unfortunately, MIBR losing another player that's in that kind of lurk spot, reminiscent a little of Lotus. Losing those players early.
Reclaiming the gun. All that ground has been gained here for Mazine. He's not in a position to go on really any more exploration. There's too much to worry about with the smokes dropped down. Still, Sentinels have plenty of players tucked close to the site. Knife Deep and across. Second, though, still has all of his abilities and more, and he's going to be hearing the rumble of the footsteps, backing away, but also forward.
30 seconds left.
Maybe trying to soundbait ever so slightly. Yeah, okay, Zekken thinking the coast was clear. Will get caught and the head clean off. John QT, though, it's a crossfire setup, and him alongside it. Sassy, TP. Reinforcements arriving just to try and help them out, but MIBR sent scurrying. There's only 13 seconds left. Which direction are you going into? They don't know.
10 seconds left.
There's no time at this point. You got too much to get through. And it's a lost round for MIBR. What's on your mind?
That's a puzzling one for me, Brent.
Okay.
Because if the idea was to try to soundbait to work a pick towards short, where's the decision to cancel? You've left things so late. You literally have to knife out run, stomping your way towards hookah, giving away the fact that it's 100% ending on B. That's just too easy for Sen at that point. They're calling all the rotates.
Right here.
You're not even going towards B long, so you would have any opportunity to use TP. It's just a bit too simple. We haven't seen MIBR lose rounds because they're macro that much, but that's a devastating one.
Not being efficient with the time that they have.
Okay, but listen, does it matter in the wider scheme of things? MIBR still able to get the bye, one away from RGL and Artisan's ultimates. If they can win this round, they can still make some kind of comeback happen. And it's not like Sen are fighting them for ult orb control, at least at the beginning.
Ooh, that's a nice one to find. Doubled up. John QT falling. Real impetus now being placed! Huh? What is that?
Oh, the Thrash opens the door, and Zekken topples him over like Skittles.
Absolutely ridiculous stuff. Chases A showing his presence here in towards short with a bit of a jiggle of the movement, and now they are putting that squeeze. But Zelsis don't realize he is there. Still tucked towards pocket. Time available for him to just drop down that smoke, but sprayed down in place. Two players here. Left standing out for MIBR, and it's a 2 versus 2. Taking that backside control, planning for it. Trying to flip the site entirely. It's a silent jump up now, up through into heaven. Trailblazer from Sassy, seeking to lead the way and clear a lot of that space. Surely he's got to think about it. He is being flanked from FRZ, but no, he's hot flash through now and clearing most of the site, but the Trailblazer not being broken. Painted a pretty picture indeed for Zekken. FRZ, though, he's got to be that difference maker, and he's found the first one, still planted for him. Time is on your side. Just got to slow it down and take it against one of the best players in the world. 1v1 tap from Zekken, facing the wrong direction, expecting that reposition. Zekken again, now which way is he facing still? Expecting it from the spawn angle, and FRZ, it's easy pickings.
Big round for MIBR. They utilize the fact that they were able to get that early pick. But what is that? This is such a lovely mid-round idea from Sen, and yet it still crumbles because Sen had lost Shower's control. I'm so confused at the end of this round, though. When Sassy uses Trailblazer in heaven, to me, it's just like instantly you think about somebody flanking you.
Yeah.
Because you've given away your position and you know that you can't move. So your opponent has a timing. I would have thought that Sen would be thinking about heaven more than that, but they were so convinced, both players on Sen, that FRZ was going to peek from pipes instead. Unusual, but a perfect gift for MIBR to get back into this. They didn't even have to use big ults there. RGL, Artisan still has Orbital Strike Showstopper to make these rounds happen. The pressure is finally on the Sen. It's the first time we've been able to say it in the match. It's just been clean sailing up until this point.
Sen City team being made to bleed. Saw it in the previous match in stage 1, but this time against MIBR, they are at least holding a candle to them. Obviously, there's a big round differential of still 4 rounds sitting here, but instead of taking a timeout now, they are feeling that pressure. The economy was even in question, but they are scrambling to give her a bit of a buy. It's a judge in play from Zelsis, still opting into it.
Yeah, and there's 2 spots that you're going to normally want to play with a judge, one of which is on top of this box, and the other one's going to be as short where Zelsis currently is. You're playing inside the brim smoke a lot of the time, catching people as they flood in through short. Definitely got chances of catching Artisan because that's one of the most common areas that he would use the Showstopper.
One suppressed.
A lot of early pressure there onto Sassy, stopping him from being able to play B long.
Standard combination. Look at all that space for MIBR. Deep smoke contacting through now with the underhanded flash popping. Along with the showstopper, a bit of spam through the wall. No kill to be claimed here, but it does clear out the site, so MIBR should be happy with that one. Are they going to be ready now for an attempt to maybe flood back out here?
Yeah, what's your setup to stop Zekken's showstopper?
He alerts himself now with the position. There's a nade at his feet, 65. Help! Lets it rip and somehow finds that one. Onto Artisan, close. Corners into the fight, taking it. Picking them apart, it's meticulous in its nature. Orbital strike has to be uploaded relatively early here.
Very early.
MIBR just feeling the heat. And do they have enough to try and stop this one? Tens ready to defuse onto Wingman half. I don't believe they got it. Goes down to the molly, but only 2 players are left standing. And they know exactly the positioning of them. Sentinels going to be ready now to just try and face them no matter what. John holding it down onto the diffuser. The rest of his team cleans it all up.
That extra layer, just not quite there from MIBR. They thought if they could hold passive and utilize the fact they had the orbital strike, they'd be able to get the job done. But unfortunately, by holding so passive, you allow Zekken's ultimate to take all of this space. Sometimes, the best thing to do against a showstopper is actually just run your face into it. Because at least then you force it out early and you don't allow the other team to take space off the bat. There, Zekken just pops the showstopper and allows all of his team to waltz through. Sure, there's a 0 point, but he even finds a kill off the back. And now, where the pressure was on Sen, suddenly MIBR, they're hurting for money. 3 sheriffs.
Massive answer back on the other side of the timeout. Showers contained and held down here. Defense by Tens. He was a solo player, and there's really no picture in their mind of how they really wanted to try and earn themselves around for MIBR. It's just wandering around the map, hoping that they can be offered a few kills maybe with the Sheriff.
I mean, there was a flash there. Mazin tried to sync it up with a bounce flash off the wall, but they weren't expecting people to be on the off angles. They're thinking they're just holding a default crossfire. Small adjustments, and it gives Sen the round almost assuredly.
Ooh, spotting possibly on the box there. Tens knows at least that they've lost control of this one.
Yeah, even if FRZ was able to get a kill, get the plant, they still don't have the spike. Sen get up to match point. Pressured a little more here on Bind, but not much more.
So far, pretty fundamental dismantling, I would say. Nothing been slipping on either of the eco rounds, making sure it's nice and contained. They've got good game plans. This whole series has really just been MIBR, unfortunately, being 1 step behind.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment.
Round 19, here it is. Sentinels launching smoke. Chance for them to really close this series out now in a 2-0 fashion. Doubled up out towards Showers. ADS in action. And it's a double setup on top of it, so if anybody does wander into it, RGR Meister
Launching smoke.
might have been punished, but just picks that timing here. And with John QT falling, that's really deep into the back of the B side. Seekers had to be popped early there.
Looks like it was a fantastic shot from Artazine onto John Cutie, who was holding up top. Sassy's thinking that all of that pressure was in Hookah, so he's going to try to re-clear it, almost dies to Mazine. And now Sassy's in a really bad spot.
Yeah, shot from B long, he's really just trapped here. Or is he? I mean, where's the swing, where's the trade? He is just taking these duels, willing them into existence. Wants to try and take the fight, the nade won't clear him. Satchel though, and the what is going on? Oh, it's silly and it's messy. Might even describe it as whimsical, but it does grant MIBR at least access to the site. Second, 1v2 now, 5 bullets left. Gotta play for the reload. Boombot. Believe shot down, so everybody healthy now and slow down. Take a bit of a breather if you are MIBR. It's the series on the line. Second.
There's no pressure on Second.
How he's just taking it in his stride. Crossfire setup. Not sure who will be the first contact, most likely Mazine here just holding onto it, no way, snaps it. Doesn't know where the second player is, but it all comes down to him versus Mazine. Mazine maintains that cool. Will shut down Zekken.
You can see that Zekken knew there was going to be somebody either like elbow, under hookah, in some kind of position to play off RGL's contact. But couldn't quite figure out that it was that close corner. Did have a nade to play with as well. And there's the entry that we didn't quite spot the first time around. Artazine walking through, catching John Cutie, and then the round went to chaos.
It really did go.
It really went bonkers after that.
One enemy remaining.
Certainly snappy from Zekken.
That shows it.
Keeping the vibes up.
And Sen actually taking a timeout here as well.
Yeah.
And we got a little glimpse there when we were looking at the replay of some of the chat, where they were saying you can just molly orb. I believe that was Sassy who was communicating that. So we'll have to take a look and see exactly what they're going to adjust here.
Maybe talking about the hookah hold.
Yeah, I mean, I think as possible. I mean, I'm thinking more like they're looking to re-clear the short lurk.
Yeah.
You know, when FRZ runs the Viper Orb down into lamps, maybe that was catching Sen off guard while we were watching the silliness on B.
Right, I see. Yeah.
So that could be a possibility. But the teams communicating stuff with each other. There's something that they don't like about the way that MRBR are playing the attack side. And we've seen this a couple of times actually from Sen, where they full gamble on one side of the map at the start of the round. Well, not quite. John just leaning over to throw that line up, and now he's going to be back over towards B early round. But it's still a very heavy gamble at the start here. And previously, we've seen Sen mess with the teleporters in these kind of situations.
Yeah, just throwing that disorder into the round if it comes to it. Pretty passive hold, even though they've stacked it. I mean, they're not making any effort to try and take control of showers early. Just holding with a setup. Most players towards backside, probably a double flash retake. They got both their Sky and the Gecko playing here, but that's not where MIBR are looking to take it. I mean, there might be a chance here. Oh, Zekken. Did they get spotted onto the minimap, maybe?
And notice, no Sentinels defensive utility to re-clear that potential Viper lurk. So maybe they're thinking about doing it for the second round. Sassy's just egoing it. Hasn't used a flash, hasn't used the dog. They're just, right, there's nobody short. They've gone and contact re-cleared that area. The fact they haven't seen anybody short, I think should make them think that Showers Trailblazer is a bit of a fake. The smoke's coming through as well. MIBR are trying to sell them a serious A-site hit.
But they have no control of B. Still, it might not make a difference.
30 seconds left.
Deep knife now to no command in case there are any anchoring players. Now we know there's nobody defending this. Center entirely off the site, so it's going to be a freebie for MIBR, but they are fast, looking at it straight for the TP and trying to flood themselves right back into this one. Behind them, Zekken and Tens coming together, spraying through, and it's an open sideline. It's not smoke for that kind of tempo injection into the round here with the Viper's Pit. Maybe enough coverage onto the side to try and provide some level of safety. There's a player advantage for Sentinels, and when they're put in this spot, they capitalize. They can feel it, they can taste it. One more round will make the difference. Mazine, he's fully blinded up there. Well, breaking it. First layers of it. Still 2 left to stand here for MIBR, and the pit is still up. No more snake bites, though. Another tap. Second. Out in the open. They know where FRZ is.
Do they?
He's made himself noticed, surely. Evacuation, but not enough to evade. Just few straight shots. And it's all Sentinels now. 13-7. Map 2. Defenders. Don't get me wrong, they were pushed and tested in various ways, but they got the job done.
Sen with a fairly comfortable beginning there to Super Week. It only gets more difficult for MIBR as they play up against NRG next. But Sen, I think your comment at the beginning of this cast actually, Brent, where you were talking about the fact that Sen want to match test some of their ideas. Yeah. They're a team that enjoys playing games and getting real match and tournament experience. They were able to test out some new ideas on Lotus. They've got that VOD footage now to look back on. And I feel like on Bind as well, we saw some new stuff there.
Yeah, making improvements.
Yeah, they're running some of their old setups, but also adding some different ideas into. We saw that really effective Brim Molly from Zelsis on the B exec, some cool hookah crunches on the defense side, and generally speaking, indicating that there is a tier gap at the moment between the top teams in Americas and those struggle. Who knows, that could shift over the course of the week. We could still see upsets, but here today, Sen gapped them.
They really did. An expected outcome. Just looking at the matchup on paper as well, that fire being relit here for Sentinels. It's always easy to take a bit of a breather, you know, when you're on the back end of an event where, okay, they won it all. But it really came to play here. The next matchup, of course, I mean, Super Week, it's a difficult one for a lot of these teams in terms of the amount of preparation. I believe it's EG.
For Sentinels,
for Sentinels, who they're going to be playing up against.
Yeah.
Now they can firmly focus on that target. There's already been a bit of beef stewing, I think.
Potter was giving it on Twitter.
Yeah.
What was this?
Just a ridiculous shot.
What was that?
Send it into the dev team.
Yeah, exactly. And there were some great moments. Honestly, there were some good moments from MLBR throughout this. There were just too few, too far between, and not enough adaptation happening throughout the series.
Yeah.
They've got like the bones of a team that can really hang in big rounds. The problem is getting that consistently and also dealing with stuff like this that Sen are going to throw at you. The creative stuff that other teams do, MLBR are not as good at dealing with it, or coming up with their own counter plans. And that ended up hurting them today.
Yeah, tier gap on display, I think, as well. I mean, Sentinels can look forward to their next match as well, a bit of time. Not too sure until their next match, maybe a few days, 3 days.
A Super Week is going to end up feeling like everything is happening all at once.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many days until the next game.
Yes,
it's going to feel soon.
Plenty of Valorant left to go as well. Still, let's send it over to Elizabeth. She's down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview. Take it away.
Well, you heard the crowd chanting his name. It is Zekin, everyone. An absolutely incredible performance from you. So I have to ask you, what were the conversations after you lost to Leviathan? You know, that was a crazy game. I felt like a grand final. It was at an international stage, but it was just a simple, not simple, but America's game. What was the conversation with the team after that loss?
It was a lot. I mean, Kaplan yelled at us for like 3 hours, but...
When you, just to be clear, when you say yell, you mean, like, give me an example.
You guys suck. And I mean, it's just that. But yeah, Kaplan was pretty upset with us. We were pretty upset with ourselves, both like individually and as a team. We felt like we really dropped the ball that game. So we came into this week's practice like really hungry to try and improve on our mistakes and show a better version of ourselves this weekend. And I think we did that.
I mean, I talked to Kaplan during the half, and he said that, especially John QT, the whole entire team really worked together. And I asked him about that readable Lotus that you picked as your first map. Talk to me about that Lotus and what you changed.
We didn't change too much. We just showed up with a lot more energy today compared to last week. We were all working together a lot more, making a lot more plans, and just had a lot more energy going into that map.
Would you say that last week it was just like foot off the gas kind of type deal, or what would you say happened last week?
We got off to a really slow start. I think we were down like 0-7 or 0-8, and it's really hard to kind of come back from that, especially when we were kind of quiet that day. So I think we came in today, we got a lot of momentum, and we just kind of ran with it.
Well, I have to ask you because you'll be facing EG next. I don't know if you saw Potter's tweet, but she listed out that she, as a coach, has not lost to Kaplan yet. You will be facing them in 3 days. What are your thoughts on that?
I wish them the best of luck, that's all.
Best of luck. A humble king, if you will. Now, my colleague, Geek Heavy, asked you during Arrivals if you think you are the best player in the world. You adamantly denied that. Now, you and I are both from New Jersey. We tell it like it is, right? Why are you not the best player in the world? Or are you changing your mind? You're like, yeah, actually, the best.
I'm not. I still feel like I have a long way to go. I think I can be a lot better than I am right now. I think... I mean, I'm not humble, I'm just realistic. I think when I do feel like the best player in the world, I'll be able to say it, but I just don't think that's right now.
Okay, just to be clear, you just won Masters Madrid. You have been consistent since you were in high school. You've been grinding. I watch you do your homework on stream. Like, you have been grinding since you were in high school. You are consistent. You are insane. You are considered by many of your professional peers and the audience of thousands that you are one of the best players in the world. And yet, all of that is still not enough to convince you that you're one of the best players in the world.
Not yet.
Not yet. So
eventually, you know, it'd be nice.
I mean, if not you, who?
If not me, I mean, there's a lot of good players out there, like Ospas, Demon One, who's in the other regions. Durke is really good. Like, there's a lot of players out there, I think.
Well, I want you to say, as Jersey to Jersey, you are one of the best players in the world, and you deserve to know that.
Thank you.
Okay? Give it up one more time for Zekin. Keep on going for a second, but stay right there because we have Cloud9 versus Loud coming up. But we're going to take a quick break, so stay right there.
knows you win.